So it's 1 p.m. As we normally hop on here. It's a little bit early, which is wild for me, but I got home early and was putzing around and I was like, okay, we're just going to jump on. Okay, so first and foremost, welcome back to Supplement Monday. I'm so grateful that you guys keep tuning in. I'm glad that this is information that is useful for you. But today we were going to talk about thermogenics. We're going to dive deep into it and we're going to talk about the why. We're going to talk about some studies. We're going to talk about some myths. We're going to talk about some different versions of it and what might work best for you. Okay, so today we're diving deep into thermogenics. We're talking about the fat-burning, energy-boosting supplements that everyone talks about. It was very big in the early 2000s. I know that I started each day with thermogenics at that time, and I will tell you they definitely did help keep me leaner. But I also was super active. I worked out every day. I played beach volleyball religiously, and I was fairly good about my eating, typically under eating. So that would also lend to overall leanness. So it wasn't just the thermogenics, but that was a part of what I was ingesting at that time. We're going to talk more about how do they really work? What does science say? And are they actually good for performance? So we're going to break down the different types of thermogenics, how they work in your body, their impact on performance. We're going to talk about myths versus reality, and we're going to talk about research-backed evidence with studies. So stick around. This is going to be a science-packed episode, so let's just go. Okay, so what are thermogenics? First of all, what are they? What are they even? So simply put, they're compounds that increase heat production, also known as thermogenesis, in your body, which can boost metabolism and fat burning. They work by stimulating the nervous system, like caffeine. They also enhance fat oxidation, like green tea extract. And they activate brown adipose tissue, BAT, and which is your body's natural fat burning furnace. So let's talk about the different types of thermogenics. One, stimulant based. So these are for people with a high tolerance for things like caffeine, things that keep you up. I personally love caffeine. I love how it makes me feel. I love being amped on it. If that is something that you don't like you get jitters or you just don't like that feeling of your heart pounding or whatever, this may not be the best choice for you. So caffeine, how it works is it boosts adrenaline and increases your metabolic rate. Studies have shown by up to 11% versus a placebo. And the study that we could reference towards this is Dulo et al. It was done in 1989. And then another stimulant-based thermogenic is yohimbine. And this blocks alpha-2 receptors, which helps burn really stubborn fat, so your like visceral fat. And this study was done, it's Osahich, and that was done in 2006. Let's talk a little bit about a couple of non-stimulant types of thermogenics. You're talking about green tea extract, also known as EGCG. So if you see that, those things are synonymous. EGCG, green tea extract, increases fat oxidation by up to 17%. And the study that showed this was Venable et al. In 2008. Another non-stimulant thermogenic is capsaicin. This is often found in chili peppers. That's what makes you feel hot. It raises energy expenditure, which helps burn more fat because the calories that you burn at rest a high percentage of them come from fat. So if you can just generally raise your energy expenditure through your rest periods throughout the day, and that's just higher overall, you're going to burn fat because the highest percentage of caloric burn at lower resting heart rates is from fat. Now, that being said, the greatest amount of your calorie burn every day is from thermogenesis, heat creation, and food digestion. So obviously we're a big proponent for working out, that is not where the majority of your calorie burn in a day comes from. Because if you think you're working out for maybe a couple of hours, but then you're at rest, i.e. your heart rate is at a resting, like within your resting heart rate, like a percentage within it, the majority of the day. So that is where you're burning the majority of your calories, and the majority of those calories come from fat. And if we slightly raise that number, your fat burn is going to increase. The amount of fat burned is going to increase. So, but again, those calories are a lower intensity and lower density than working out, right? We pack in calorie burn in those workouts. But anyway, so that is how capsaicin works. Next, we're going to talk about thyroid and metabolic supporters. So Forskolin boosts CAMP, which aids fat breakdown. The study that shows this is Godard et al. In 2005. And then you got L-tyrosine. This is probably something you see more often. It supports thyroid function for metabolic rate. You'll see this a lot in pre-workouts, post-workouts, but L-tyrosine. It is a thermogenic because it helps support your thyroid function. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how thermogenics work in your body. We've touched on it while talking about these, but we're going to dive a little bit deeper into it. Okay, so stimulants like caffeine trigger adrenaline, then they release stored fat for energy. So adrenaline needs stored fat to be able to produce the energy you're looking for, and that is how stimulants like caffeine work. EGCG, which we already talked about, is green tea extract, and capsaicin, they activate your UCP-1 uncoupling protein in mitochondria, which burns fat as heat. Then there's Forskolin and L-tyrosine. They support thyroid hormones T3 and T4, and they keep your metabolism firing. So a performance bonus would be some thermogenics, there's also some things that thermogenics can do that are beneficial on top of fat burning. And one of these is caffeine, and it delays fatigue by blocking adenosine receptors. So there's that. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about myth versus reality when it comes to thermogenics. One, the myth is thermogenics melt fat without diet exercise. The reality is that they help, but you still need a calorie deficit. You still need an active lifestyle to create the body that you're wanting. We can dive a little bit more in a different day if you'd like to on talking about the dangers of taking stimulants when your parasympathetic nervous system should be in charge. So you have your sympathetic nervous system and your parasympathetic nervous system. Your sympathetic nervous system is also known as like your skeletal nervous system. It's like when you have your fight or flight response, your sympathetic nervous system is on fire. It's ready to do something. It's ready to get amped. Your parasympathetic nervous system is when your digestive system is more active, but you're going to be a lot more relaxed through your skeletal muscle, your sympathetic nervous system. When your sympathetic nervous system is designed to be at rest, it is harmful and there is a negative effect on the rest of your body to stimulate your skeletal nervous system or your sympathetic nervous system. We can talk, there's a lot that goes on with the liver. There's some things that go on with adrenaline dumping, and we can kind of talk about that on a different day. If you're interested, go ahead and comment if that's something you'd like to learn more about. But while I love caffeine, I do only pair it with a high activity time, right? So if I take caffeine immediately before I work out, and by immediately, I mean within an hour of me working out. If I do need it, like on a weekend, if I'm going to go out like dancing with my friends, but I'm going to be on and I'm going to be doing things, then I also take it. But I do not ingest caffeine to sit in front of a computer to pay attention. I do not take caffeine to read a book. But if I'm not going to be activating my sympathetic nervous system, I do not ingest caffeine. So that's just something. It's a little bit of a side note, but if you would like to learn more about it, we can do that on a different day. Okay, so another myth is more thermogenics equals faster fat loss. reality, overuse causes tolerance and side effects, kind of like jitters and crashes. So they're not, more isn't necessarily better. You just kind of end up wanting to take more later. So you don't see, it's kind of like there is no like cap on what your body can eat for protein at a time. It's going to utilize all of it, but the return, it's deteriorating returns. So generally we see kind of like a solid ratio of ingested protein to muscle repair up to 40 grams of protein. If you eat 50, you're still going to see some more gains than you would, you're going to see some more repair and usage than you would with 40 grams, but it's not at the same rate. So protein's kind of expensive. It's an expensive ingredient for you to get your hands on. So I would say cap yourself at 40 grams of protein. Know that you'll utilize it to the best of your body's ability. But there is no like, oh, it doesn't work. It's more your body just, the return is just not the same amount. So eat more and more often. So if you want to have, 200 grams of protein per day, you're going to want to eat about 40 grams of protein per meal if you're eating about 5 meals a day. But that's just something to consider. Next, thermogenics are only for fat loss. Reality is that there are some, like caffeine, which we've talked a lot about, they boost endurance and focus as well. So there's a lot of benefits to taking a thermogenic like caffeine, but there are also other thermogenics that have added benefits rather than just fat loss. Okay, so now we're going to talk more about the research and what that shows. Caffeine plus green tea extract or EGCG combined, they increase fat burning by 16.7% over a placebo. This study you can find in the Journal of Nutrition in 2009. Capsaicin raised metabolic rate by 50 calories per day, and you can find this study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2011. And then yohimbine help burn stubborn fat in trained athletes. So athletes that are already fit and shape, conditioned. A lot of times you'll see diminishing returns when the more that you work out, right? You're getting closer and closer to whatever goal that you might have, and you'll notice that you don't see the benefits like you did in the beginning. Like you drop 10 pounds a month, 10 to 20 pounds a month at first, and now you're not. But so you've got to look for different things for your benefits, right? Am I losing inches? Am I putting on muscle? Are my weights going up? Am I getting faster? This is kind of similar. So this kind of goes into that, right? So if you are a very fit person and you are trying to improve, the amount of work you have to put in to see the same improvements that you did in the beginning is exponentially bigger. Yohimbine helps you burn fat even as a very fit and, very fit and very conditioned person, which is excellent. So let's say you're someone who is very advanced when it comes to working out. Taking yohimbine can help you lean out even more above and beyond the work that you're already doing. So that is something to consider. The information that you can find on that study is in the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition, and that was done in 2006. But not all studies are equal. Some show modest effects. So dosing and timing does matter. Okay, so that is thermogenics broken down simply. The key takeaways is that they can help with fat loss and performance. They're not magic. You still need diet. You still need a goal-oriented nutrition plan and goal-oriented training in order to see the results that you want consistently. There are stimulant versus non-stimulant options. Not all thermogenics are stimulants. So that's kind of nice for those of you that it's just not your jam. So what is your experience with Thermogenics? Do any of you take them? What do you like about them? What do you don't like about them? Which ones did you take? How did they make you feel? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear about it. And if you want a detailed guide on the best Thermogenics and dosages, go ahead and comment Thermogenics, and I'll just send you a message with versions for stimulant-based, non-stimulant-based, when to take them, what the dosage should look like, and then I'll send you links for different types of clinically backed stimulants and third-party tested versions that you can get that will kind of follow those guidelines. And so comment Thermogenics, and then that will be sent automatically to you. And if you have any further questions, go ahead and comment. If there's something that you want to hear about, go ahead and comment. Go ahead and take a look at the other Supplement Monday videos in my feed, and then you'll be able to kind of learn about some other things, and you can comment and find some suggestions for those as well. But beyond that, we are all done. I want to say thank you for those of you who popped in. I'll see you next Monday for Supplement Monday, and we'll talk about another supplement, science-backed. We'll talk about, the ins and outs of it, what it is, how it works, and give you some suggestions of ones that would be great for you. All right. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you being here, and I will see you next Monday. All right. Bye.